everyone, welcome to a new live stream. Welcome to the weekend live stream for the stock markets. Hello, Shafi and Arcane, Bilyak and Profit Pulse. Welcome everyone. So we're gonna see what we have for the Monday. Of course, we're gonna see what the market can give us for this week. So basically, we're gonna move, of course, a little bit fast with the NASDAQ, SPX. We're gonna see the gold, also what it did on Friday because we didn't saw it. But basically, the SPX and the NASDAQ were already analyzed on Friday night. So basically, we're gonna see all of the gold, the Nvidia, Pltr, and Tesla, what they did on Friday and what they might give us on Monday. Plus, your special request already taken for LLY, IONQ, and ACHR. So we're gonna see what are those. Welcome everyone, and let's start, of course, with the NASDAQ. So basically, with NASDAQ, of course, we have said lately on Friday night that we have seen, of course, this blue box hit and taken, of course, with this wave F5 where we saw 1, 2, 3, and 4 and a 5 potentially finished here. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, and you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the extended wave 5 in the white scenario. And this has finished, of course, a wave 3 in the orange scenario where we have an impulse 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, and we're looking currently for this Monday for wave 4 in the orange scenario. Now, basically, this orange scenario wave 4 has to hit minimum target 0.23, which is around the 22k 335, and we are, of course, in this potential impulse towards the downside 1, 2, 3, 4 until I'm gonna zoom in until invalidation given at 22k 554, meaning this is the most important key level right now for Monday. Once the market opens, if the price action continues toward the upside, or if the market jumps and moves toward the upside on the opening of the market, you have to consider that this move toward the downside is invalidated and it is simply a 3 waves, and this will occur, of course, a wave 4 here and still unfinished wave 5 toward the upside. Very simple. If we see the market opens above the 22k 554, therefore you have to consider we're continuing toward the upside. This wave 4 might shift from here to there, and you might get, of course, an extended wave 5, meaning you finish here an A, B, C, or I would say W, X, and a Y. The wave Y is this long zigzag once invalidated, of course. Currently, we're still under this invalidation, therefore be careful. We might, of course, continue towards the downside. If we opens towards the downside, therefore we are simply continuing here wave F5 for this impulse 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, wave A, and then having 3 waves up for wave B, and then wave C to finish and complete a wave 4 in this orange scenario. Yep, so those are basically what we are going to have on Monday, or I would say in few hours once the markets start to open, right? Yes, we're so back, Profit Pulse. We're back, of course, after a long trip. We are back for updates. So SPX, let's see. What do we have? Also, we have analyzed it. We saw almost the same. Now on SPX, of course, you can count very clearly, potentially here, a finished impulse. It can be 1, 2, 3, but however, this wave 3, somehow it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Now, can it be like internally you have double 4 5s here regarding this 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5? Well, possible. It can be a possible finished impulse, and it might be, of course, that you have a correction here and you might move toward the downside. However, in a bigger view for the SPX anyway, we are looking potentially for one more high. Potentially. Why? Because if in case you are in a 1, 2 here, this wave 2 is very shallow, I know, but it can be, of course, it's not an invalidation. You still have a wave 4 above the wave 1, and it might be, of course, unfold a wave 5, meaning the SPX might probably still have one more high for this wave 5 before it starts to move toward the downside. And this also was explained as well on Friday night before the market closed. So basically, I would say SPX, if it opens higher a little bit than this, because anyway, if you are in an impulse 1, 2, 3 here, also if you, that is kind of like invalidation very close. So if we take, I would say even here the 1-to-1 Fib level again, 6,150, 180, which is a little bit higher, yeah, directly you have to consider we're continuing towards the upside. Okay, knowing that this of course is a finished impulse, but potentially here I have just one impulse, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, meaning wave 2 is shallow, is fine, but yeah, you might have a wave 4 here and wave 5. Great. So that's why higher potential, of course, for SPX to move for higher, you know, for higher prices. Cool. So this is a fast review for the NASDAQ and the SPX. So to see what it might happen once we open the market and to refresh, of course, our memory since Friday. So let's see the gold, what it did, of course, on Friday, right? So we're gonna see what it happens. And let's see the XAU USD. Here we go. All right, so for the gold, yeah, as we mentioned, the gold is not showing a strength anymore somehow, despite that it looks very corrective. This is very corrective, very clear 3 waves. And once you have a 3 waves correction, definitely the trend is toward the upside. But that doesn't mean, it doesn't mean that you cannot get lower prices currently. Okay, so just to mention, since you are corrective here, you might still looking to finish a correction, and to finish a correction you might need an impulse, right? You might need an impulse for wave C after an A, B, and a C. This wave C, obviously it is unfolding after having a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 probably here. It can be a diagonal, guys. It can be a wave 1 diagonal. So following this path, this trend, here we go, and finishing potentially here a wave 1. So basically I would say the gold can open a little bit higher tomorrow, can be a little bit looking for higher for wave 2, and after all you're gonna move, of course, with it towards lower prices. However, if we take a closer look here, and let's check this thing here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I just want to go a little bit micro to see. So A, B, 1, 2, 3. Well, yeah, here there is some issue. If this is your wave 5, the wave 3 is over there probably 1, 2. Okay, and this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, but the wave 5 is longer. However, obviously that this is an ending here for this structure, okay, and you got something like wave 3 ways up. So definitely this is a structure here, whether it is an impulse or whether it is a diagonal. You already got 5 waves down. It doesn't matter so much anymore what is that. Obviously you got 5 waves down, yeah, and it looks like a very clear diagonal, yeah. Probably we're looking here for zigzags, and that's why I was trying to read this much more clearer to see if we are looking for zigzags or for impulses, meaning one more move toward the downside. But probably we are looking for zigzags here because this also looks like a zigzag. Okay, the wave 3, obviously it looks like a zigzag, and this one is currently a zigzag potentially finished. And yeah, probably this is also kind of like diagonal. It can be expanding diagonal, guys. Sometimes it happens, ABC, and you have kind of like zigzags of diagonal, yeah, leading diagonal. And that means it can be, of course, your wave 1 here unfolding as a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's mark this also. I think we already mark it here. Here we go. Yes, we have it. All right, so we can remove those small stuff. We need to add our counting here. Okay, so basically, guys, there is no impulse anymore. The bullish scenario has been invalidated. Definitely, we are in a wave B finished here, and we're moving toward the downside as a potential 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Target is this blue box 1-to-1 fib level. Okay, 1-to-1 fib level 3000, which is very psychological number, I would say. What was that? Invalidation of bearish. Well, yeah, it has simply continued for bearish. No need for it anymore. Here we go. So basically, you're looking for this, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It can be even. It can be probably a bigger diagonal here, or it can be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, this is of course the lower time frame. I'm looking for lower, but tomorrow you might see higher a little bit, of course, after having wave 2. Okay, so this is what I'm expecting: 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. In a bigger overview, do we finish probably here the correction and we're moving for higher for new all-time high? Well, probably not. Okay, I would say again, if we are looking for higher, I think that this is not really yet the time for looking for higher, but of course I may change my mind once I see the reaction here. Okay, why? Because if I see something very impulsive here, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, wave 2, wave 3 continuation, of course I'm gonna test the 1-to-1 fib level first. Overshooting it, okay, I'm gonna call potentially we're going to take the high. Okay, and what does it mean if we take the high? If we take the high, guys, that means you might be extending here a wave 4, and that means like 1, 2, you have a wave 3 here rather than only wave 3 over there, 4 and a 5. You took this impulse to the wave 3, right? So you have like kind of like 1, 2, 3. You're working on a wave 4 and then 5 in case we get higher. Plus, if you take this wave 4 in case in time, you compare it with the wave 2, that is perfect. Yeah, that it looks perfect, almost double time and more. So that is sometimes where the wave 4 can pass the double time. It's totally fine. But in a bigger view, guys, as the all-time history, you know that I mentioned this over many times, that we might be here, of course, in something a little bit more bearish. Okay, corrective. I would not say bearish because again, bearish is something impulsive. But I would say correction as a wave 4 towards the 2586, meaning the 3000 might not be enough. Okay, in case we get to the 3000 somewhere here, it might not be enough. We might see 3 waves somehow like that. Okay, to reach the 2586. Again, I'm gonna explain it. Maybe many of you already heard the explanation, but maybe some of you are new for this channel, so it's very interesting, of course, for them just to repeat it very quickly and yeah, and briefly. So basically, what we are looking at on the all-time history for the gold here is a potential leading diagonal. Okay, this is the first scenario. You have a zigzag wave 1, you have a correction, you have another zigzag wave 3. You're looking for a correction for a wave 4. Normally, a correction wave 4 has to hit at least minimum uncommon target 0.23, which is 1800. Okay, so this is kind of like the ultimate corrective scenario here. Okay, which it can be on the lower time frame very bearish. Yeah, but in a all-time history, it is of course, or in a bigger view here, you are in 3 corrective waves, which is a wave 4 here, that it can't reach, of course, this blue box, and then moving for a wave 5 again for a new all-time high, right? So 1, 2, 3 with a zigzag 4 and a 5 toward the upside. Okay, this is the ultimate corrective slash bearish scenario that you can get. Okay, first price is 1800, but of course there is a less corrective scenario here, which is of course this 2500. But this scenario, for this one, you need of course one of those 2 scenarios. Whether you are in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, of course we take the price from the 60s here, where you have a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 impulse toward the upside, finishing wave 1. You have a wave 2 again, rather than being in diagonal here in a zigzag, you are in an impulse toward the upside. I'm gonna remove the time here, no need for it, it's represented already with the blue box. You are in an impulse, wave 3. The wave 3, when you are in an impulse, you start with 5 waves, you have to continue 5 waves toward the upside because it has to be an impulse wave 3. And that means right now you finish an extended wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, very good impulse, wave 3 finished. You're looking for a wave 4 without hitting, of course, the zone 1. Meaning this wave 4, which is typically can go back to minimum target 0.23. By all means, in this case scenario, if you are in an impulse 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to finish, of course, a wave 3 here, therefore, you're looking for this target for as a wave 4 to be able to continue impulsively later on for a wave 5 to finish a wave 3. And therefore, we talk about, of course, a wave 4 later on, right? Different scenario, which is the same target, but different scenario, is simply an ABC. ABC meaning you are in an impulse here, wave A, in the blue scenario. You have correction, and you're looking for a wave C, which it has to finish, of course, as an impulse. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Same scenario, same target, same wave 4. Okay? But the difference is that you finish a wave C rather than a wave 3. And the difference between them is that a wave 3 in an impulse, you still have the chance to have higher prices still, of course, after a correction wave 4. That's all the difference. Meaning, currently, for us right now, it's not important this area. What it is important for us is this area, of course. In both case scenario, we need the 2,580. Okay? This is a minimum target. Unless this 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 is not finished yet. That's all. So if this correction doesn't take the 2,580, and after we finish the small ABCs that we saw on the lower time frame, we see it finishing and moving impulsive, meaning this 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 is not finished yet. Simply when you finish, you take the high, we're going back to the same scenario. Okay, that's all. We're gonna estimate, of course, the price, what's gonna happen on the lower time frame in the next weeks, of course. Cool. That was for the gold. Let's move for Nvidia to see Nvidia what is doing. Nvidia is the engine right now of the AI. So it is a very trendy chart, I would say. So that's why I always put Nvidia somehow in the first stock. So Nvidia, as you know, guys, on the all-time history, we are in double 1-2s here. Okay. In double 1-2s, where you have the orange scenario and the yellow one, which is internally, I would say, and you have here a wave 3 in the yellow, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, followed by a wave 4 correction, followed by an impulse to finish a wave 5. Finishing with it, a wave 3, meaning wave 3 in the orange already done. Okay. Currently, we were looking at a wave 4. Remember the recession, the trade war, the blah blah blah, everything happened. That was already a corrective wave 4, perfect with this scenario, of course, even taken based on the wave 2 alternation. You have a very deep zigzag, while here you have a sideways wave 4 flat, expanding flat. Perfect alternation based on Elliott wave. And the timing also is perfect, I would say. The timing of a wave 4 is double times this wave 2. Okay. So if you take the time somehow like this, this one is even longer in time. So perfect, I would say. And here we go. We move toward the upside, right? We're moving towards higher prices. We see a 1-2, wave 3 unfolding towards higher prices. Here we go. So inside this area where we are looking after this correction wave 4, we are looking here at a wave 1-2, right? So we have a wave 1 here, 2, and then wave 3 unfolding toward the upside. This wave 3 is 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. I'm gonna dive a little bit deeper here to see, of course, much more better price. Let's go for our chart. Here we go. I think I deleted my 1, 2 here by mistake. Just 1 second. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. This was deleted by mistake, guys. Sorry. Let's take it as, here we go. So this is a wave 2 here, probably that we are looking main wave 2, wave 3. I believe the wave 3 is not yet finished totally. I still think that there is a little bit much more higher prices here that we can see for this orange scenario 1, 2, and then wave 3, 4, and a 5. Yeah. This wave 5, internally on the 2 hours chart, we can see that we have kind of like several 1-2s here. Yeah. This is not an impulse. You cannot call this an impulse because as 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, this wave 3 is very smaller than wave 1, smaller than wave 5. Therefore, you have to consider it directly as 1, 2, 3, 4, sorry, 1, 2, 1, 2, and another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I believe we still have several 4, 5 toward the upside to finish, of course, this basically, this impulse as a wave 3. And after this, oh, I have a white scenario here for it. Okay, I was lost. So to finish a wave 3 in the blue count here, guys. Okay, and after this, of course, you might seek after a wave 4. Now this wave 4, of course, it's gonna change based on the highs that we get here. Okay, so the higher we get, the higher the wave 4 is gonna be. Okay, it's the 0.23. We're gonna see this, but currently I'm still looking right now still for higher, simply continuation toward the upside. Okay, if I take also the fib levels taken from the wave 1 here based on the wave 3 top here, wave 5, exactly blue box. Okay, this is exactly the blue box that I would like to be finishing a wave 5 in the orange, which it will finish, of course, a wave 3. Yeah, so 0.618, I would say 161 would be a nice target for Nvidia. Yeah, and therefore probably after 4545 moving toward the downside. We're gonna see this, of course, again in the next price action. Cool, that was for Nvidia as well. Let's see Palantir at 31. Okay, what did Palantir do on Friday? Ooh, okay. Okay, so yeah, we were expecting this anyway. Obviously, we were expecting this on the morning Friday, and it looks like during the Friday, Palantir went and moved very, very fast towards the downside. And if you remember, I mentioned that there is something going on a little bit here, that the things are a little bit shifting to be, slowing down with the momentum, right? You can see the curve, right? And then, here we go. Start to move towards the downside directly because the momentum was decreasing tragically. So I don't know why, but however, it has finished anyway. An impulse 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. We cannot say that it didn't finish something impulsive with 5 ways with ending diagonal here. Yeah, and then we're moving toward the downside impulsively, right? Impulsively because we are looking right now for this wave 4. Let's go for our chart maybe. Okay, so this wave 4 should be taken from the high here, of course, 0.23 blue box around the $87. Can be, of course, lower, but don't forget based on Elliott wave. When you have several wave 4s, the last wave 4 might dive deeper, might come back to the previous one, knowing that this did happen before. I'm not sure if it's gonna happen a third time. Let me check the wave 2 in the yellow. Well, the wave 2 in the yellow is kind of like deeper a little bit, so maybe it might not be very deep. Maybe it might not come back. Okay, maybe it's gonna take only the 0.23 and not the 0.38, which is in confluence with the double wave 4s down there. Yeah. So basically, I would say it might be like ABC. It might be a flat. It might be a triangle. We're gonna see this based on the time. I think this time is taken properly, but let me check. I think it is based on the wave 2. Well, hell no. It's not. So let's take, this is exactly the time that you would like to see, of course, the wave 4 finishing there inside this box, guys. Perfection would be, of course, around this area from half of the box and to the right. Okay, so probably somehow like this and moving toward the upside. So I would say August 18. August 18. Okay, yeah, that's a long time. That's a long time. All right, so yeah, basically this is what we are looking for Palantir. We're gonna see if this is gonna unfold kind of like continuously impulsive or not. We're gonna see what's gonna happen over there. That is for Palantir for the targets and what it might happen. Let's see Tesla at a 35 minute. Okay. So for Tesla, let's see. Today we heard some news from Elon Musk, so we have to be careful. Some politics again, yeah, guys. So I don't enter so much in politics, but I heard, I heard some news from Elon Musk. You know, Tesla is so much affected with politics right now, and yeah, you know the situation. So we have to be careful with it always. All right. So for Tesla on the daily. Tesla on the daily, we have an impulse toward the upside, right? Wave 1, wave A, ABC for a wave 2 or a wave B, and we have, of course, an impulse toward the upside for a wave C. So A, B, and a C, okay? 3 waves. Already when you start with 3 waves, you're starting corrective, and that means, of course, it's not perfection, yeah, for a chart, preferably that you move impulsively. Now you can call this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Definitely, you can do this if you want to. But yeah, if you take it like step by step here, I mean, you can see that you have finished perfectly wave A as well. And if you take it, of course, 3 waves here, you can see, of course, correction, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, impulse finishing over there. Therefore, yeah, and exactly this is what make it much more closer for an ABC is the 1-to-1 fib level. Because if you have here a wave 3, we did not reach even the 1.27. If we transform this to wave 3, we did not reach even the 1.27, guys. Okay, so that is not really good. For a wave 3, definitely we are in a way ABC here, and you're looking for something corrective. Now, if the things are going to a wave 3 and this part here, this leg, is a part of this impulse, it can be, but even this part here, again, we didn't took the 1.27, and this is a problem. Yeah, so this leg here, it didn't took the minimum target for an impulse. Therefore, very low possibility that it might be impulsive. So be careful. But if in case that is gonna play as an impulse wave 3, you might be, of course, in a diagonal. Probably. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a maximum scenario as bullish that you can get in Tesla right now. There is nothing impulsive, guys. And that because, of course, of the character zigzags that you have, of course, here. Yeah. And you don't have, of course, an impulse. You don't have an impulse over there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so be careful, guys. Be careful. So this is a maximum impulse, maximum bullish scenario that you might have for Tesla. Most of the scenarios are whether sideways, A, B, C, D, E, which is running triangle, A, B, C, D, and a E, or you have a W, X, and a Y, which is looking for a wave Y, meaning you're looking for a zigzag, or you are looking for an ABC blue box. And this is an expanding flat, guys. A, B, and a C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. $70, $50. Yeah, so something is being cooked for Tesla, so be careful, guys. Arcane, thank you. You're the best. You are the best, bro. Thank you, man. Thank you for the kind words. Sure, man. It was pleasure. Yeah, so this is what's going on in Tesla. So basically, as we mentioned, if we are in an impulse, a diagonal, you would like to see an impulse toward the upside to finish this final wave 5. This is all what you would like to see. Do we have this potential on the 2 hours chart? Well, hell no, right? We don't have yet an impulse toward the upside. Everything going on here is still corrective. And that tells us, okay, that one of the bearish or sideways scenario might unfold next. Okay. And let me explain the other scenario, which one is much more possible for the lower time frame. So if we are in a wave Y first, be careful. This wave Y anyway, it is at the same time your A, B, C, D, E. So you have double scenarios which would like to take this leg towards the downside. And for this one, you need definitely, if you are in a triangle, you need a zigzag. A zigzag means impulse, correction, impulse. Therefore, we're looking for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If we are also in W, X, and a Y, the wave Y has to be zigzag, the same scenario. So we're looking for an impulse. Therefore, on the 2 hours chart, do we have a potential impulse toward the downside? Let's take a look. So basically, I would say in this area, if you have a 1, 2, 3, what is your wave 4? Invalidated, yeah? Now you have here potentially 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 can be, of course, but what is that here? Okay, so this one here is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, wave C. And you have an A, B, and a C. Once you start corrective, you continue corrective. So what I'm seeing here, guys, is that you might have here an A, B, and a C in case that this is not the start of the impulse toward the downside, meaning the correction still moving on. And that means, of course, you might have an A, B, and a C toward the upside. Now, or it can be W, X, and a Y, by the way. If you have started here with an impulse, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah, you might have, of course, an A, B, C, wave C here, okay? An impulse. So this is the potential in the 2 hours chart. It's not very bullish, okay? And it's not very bearish yet because you did not finish yet this correction. Very simple. This is what the price here tells us because you started already corrective and still kind of ranging, and now it has start potential and impulse, meaning it's just finishing up this correction, guys. Once you finish this correction, it might move continuously for lower. Be careful with Tesla again. All right, that was it for the main list. If you have any special requests, guys, of course, I would be glad to analyze it today. And let's see this one, the first one, which is LLY. Okay, I think we did this before. Yeah, I remember. Okay. Let's move to the all-time history. All right, we did. Okay. Cool. So we are in an A, B, and a C potentially, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you have clearly an impulse, wave A finished as a zigzag. You have a correction, wave B, or a wave 2, meaning 1, 2, 3, or A, B, and a C. Now currently, obviously this is the yes, very okay. This 1-to-1 is taken from the A to the B to the C. So I'm gonna make sure this is a zigzag here. Here we go. Okay. If you are in wave 3, by the way, you would like to see the wave 3 hitting the 1.618. If you are in wave C, you would like to see the 1-to-1 fib level, which you are very, very close to it. But we're very close to it, but structurally it is 1, 2, 3 only, meaning the potential of being in a wave 4 and a 5 extended or overshooting at least the 1-to-1 fib level to get at least the 1.27, right, which is the minimum target for a wave 3, is very possible, right? And that means, of course, you can be impulsive here in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Currently, you're still corrective, and you're still looking, of course, for higher. This everything here, no need even like to move so much deep into it. Everything looks very corrective. A, B, and a C, potentially this wave C is unfolding as diagonal, or probably W, X, and a Y, guys. Okay. Something is unfolding very corrective. Why? Because there is no impulse at all. Everything is simply overlapping, and the direction of the market still toward the upside. Meaning, once you take this fib level, which is already taken, and we see, by the way, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. So probably you might have started, of course, the move toward the upside. Yeah, be careful. you might have started the move toward the upside. And this wave C is done and finished. However, on the daily, it looks like we already took some fib levels here. Let's check if those fib levels are taken right. Wave 2, yes. Okay, so if this is your wave 4 targets as an impulse, I would put this, here we go. Now this one, okay, yeah, we don't need the 0.618. Let's just make it nicer for you guys. I don't like to put a lot of numbers. So here we go. Now on the logarithmic chart, you didn't reach yet the 0.23, but on the linear chart, you see that you have hit it very perfectly. So be careful. Why I switch always with the fib levels, I switch to the linear chart. Because with the linear chart, you can read much better the fib levels. It gives much more accurate price. Yeah. On the logarithmic chart, why I use it? I use it, of course, just for Elliott waves. Yeah, reading. Yeah, you can see the waves much more stretched, much more clearer, and of course that you can have better count on it. That's all. But you have to always be careful. You might, of course, have finished here a correction, wave 4, and you might move toward the upside as we saw already. Okay, we saw it already internally on the 1 hour chart that it has already started an impulse here. Here we go. 1, 2, and you have a potentially even your wave 2 can be kind of like WX and a Y. You have a wave 1 here, WX. It can be a wave Y internally, guys. And then you have a 1, a 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Okay, that is interesting. When I move inside it, I don't see a 4, 5. Okay, interesting. So yeah, I would say it's not ready. No, guys. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, internally, because on a bigger view, guys, you see this as only wave 3. Yeah. But when you move inside it, you see it. Okay, it's 5 waves, right? And then 1, 2, 3, or ABC. So yeah, not ready yet. I would say not ready, not ready. Okay, still having something, but very interesting. It brought me right now to WXY. WXY. The wave Y might be a triangle here. Here we go. Here we go. Where you have a W as a zigzag, you have another zigzag for the X, A, B, C, D, and a E. The wave E has to be a zigzag, meaning once you take this low or 1-to-1 fib level here to finish a zigzag for wave E, the wave Y might be finished, the wave 4 might be finished. What is the wave 4? So this wave 4 as counting here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here we go. This is a wave 4. Okay. Therefore, moving up for wave 5. So I would say, yeah, it's very close even to move for higher. Cool. All right. So let's see the second one, IONQ. Okay. IONQ. Okay, not really nice chart, but still fine. Let's say, okay, we started a new psychology here for the market, and then okay, that is an impulse. Okay, let's start counting efficiently here on the lower time frame. Okay, yeah, you have an impulse here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, everything is fine. All right, and then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. Okay, so basically here you have a start with an impulse, which is a good indication. It might be your wave 1 or a wave A. So you might have here big wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 toward the upside, or you are in an ABC, A, B, and a potential wave C in the blue scenario. Okay. Now, after this, we are looking here at something very corrective. Obviously, it is an A, B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, C. Okay. Very obviously ending diagonal, right? For a wave C. Here we go. Okay, this is your diagonal. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. And then moving impulsively toward the upside. Let's see this move toward the upside. Okay, let's start from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Okay, this is your main wave 3. The main wave 3 meaning yeah, the most impulsive and explosive one during this move. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 again finished here. And then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Perfect. Everything looking perfect, right? Everything looking perfect. And that means right now you finished here potentially wave 3 or a wave C, right? Because you finished A, B, C, zigzag. Let's check, by the way, the fib levels here. It might give us much more insights. Okay, as you can see, only 1-to-1 fib level has been hit. And this gives you much more clue that this might be corrective, guys. Might be an ABC zigzag, okay? Because for the wave 3 to be a wave 3 here, you would like to see, of course, higher prices, okay? You would like to see the 1.27, don't forget, a minimum target, okay? The minimum target is 1.27, preferably to be, of course, 1.618, which it should be much more higher. However, we're still looking here at something potentially corrective. Why? Because you have simply A, B, and a C. Cool. What does that mean? It means several scenarios might be unfolding again. So let me group this first as a daily. Here we go. Okay, so what does it mean here when you see 3 waves down and then, of course, continuation impulsively kind of toward the upside? And why it is directly ABC? Because obviously, if you are in 1, 2, 3, your wave 4 invalidated this impulse. You're not in an impulsive wave. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Okay, so obviously you have a 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, this is a diagonal. 1, 2, 3. Yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 for wave 3. Then wave 4, ranging here as kind of like triangle. So mini gray, here we go. So 4 and a 5. Okay. And this is only the start of a new impulse, by the way. Might be. So what are the scenarios? The scenarios are the following. Since you have impulses, impulse, correction, impulse, correction, impulse, you might be, of course, in a big diagonal here. Here we go. This big diagonal might be, therefore, the wave 4, the wave 5. Okay? And what does it mean? Again, if you start with a leading diagonal here, that means you are in a big wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 toward the upside. Let's go large one. Here we go. Wave 1, wave 2, 3, 4, 5 toward the upside. Or of course, it can be A, B, and a C. But normally, when you have a start with a leading diagonal, 70% you are in the start of an impulse wave 1. When you have leading diagonal, 30% can be a zigzag wave A. Okay. Yep. So that's it for this one. Basically, with the wave 5, targets taken from the wave 3 to the wave 4, wave 5 as diagonal, perfect targets would be exactly there. Here we go. Now, are we done? This is the only scenario? Of course not. Of course not. Second scenario is that you have 1, 2, 1, 2, and you are in a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 toward the upside. How do we know that we are in a wave 3? Currently, the only possible scenario right now that you have in your hand as a closest scenario is a leading diagonal wave 5, meaning you're still looking for higher. While you are looking for higher, if this trend continues toward the upside, reaching the 1-to-1 fib level here, meaning the wave 5 as a diagonal became longer than the wave 3. Once it is longer than wave 3, it is invalidated. It's not allowed to have a diagonal with a wave 5 longer than wave 3. Does it mean we are bearish? Of course not. It means you are more bullish. And that means once you break the 1-to-1 fib level, you will see, of course, a massive move to the upside because you are in a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. The targets of this potential scenario for a wave 3 can be the following. Wave 3 as an impulse. Here we go. You might reach the next blue box, which is there, 500. But only if you take, of course, this 1-to-1 fib level, 157. Okay, that was it for IONQ. I don't know exactly the name. Let's see, what is this company? Okay, there is no big abbreviation, just abbreviation here. Okay. All right. We forgot the time, but yeah, it's fine. I think we start here at 47 minutes, and I would say this at 40 minutes. All right, ACHR. Okay, ACHR. Archer Aviation. Okay. Oh, we did this before. Okay, cool. Let's see how it worked. Oh, it looks like a very okay, very bad one. Okay, so we said we did this, of course, a long time. It looks like invalidation of bearish. Okay, yeah, that's true, and we took it, and that means we're still looking for higher, and that's true. Okay. Okay, cool. So the diagonal here, it didn't work, and we were looking for invalidation for bearish, and it took it. Yeah, so basically we're looking for higher, and that means you finished a diagonal because this is what we were looking for. At least you finish a diagonal, and that means your wave 1, here we go. Your wave 2, you're looking for it, and you're looking for an impulse toward the upside. Okay. Before looking for the impulse toward the upside, of course, you would like to see a wave 2, meaning ABC wave 2. Normally, when you have a diagonal, and obviously it is a zigzag correction, you have kind of another zigzag here, correction, and very obvious zigzag. So everything is fine as leading diagonal. It looks perfect. But the wave 4 here, the wave 2 looks, of course, kind of like impulsive inside this 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, right? So yes, you have a 1, 2 here. Let's move even inside it. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. Yes, this is an impulse, and therefore you're looking still for lower, meaning you're looking at least for 1-to-1 fib level here, which is a zigzag because you have an impulse, of course. $7.9. Okay, would be the target for this wave 2. And normally when you have a diagonal, the wave 2 might be very shallow. Yeah, so might be very shallow and fast. Okay, and then start the move toward the upside explosively. Okay, it's a character for the diagonal, leading diagonal. Wave 2 might be shallow. So watch, of course, the 7.9. You need, of course, to see an impulse. So it has to be impulsive, ABC, and then start the move towards the upside. Now, I would like to check one more thing before. Would this 1-to-1 fib level be in confluence with the 0.38 minimum requirement of a wave 2? Okay, it did not. On the linear chart, yes. You already, on the linear chart, you already took the 0.38. So be careful. You might be ready even to move for higher. Maybe it might finish as ending diagonal and moving for higher. Okay. So yeah, be careful between the leading diagonal wave 2 However, as you can see here, the one-to-one Fib level did not so much change. It's still 7.19 between linear and the logarithmic, and you might still get it. Okay, you might still get it, but be careful with it. If you get it anyway, don't forget that this is a beautiful area for a wave 2. Between almost the 0.618, 0.786. This is a perfect area, the golden box for a wave 2, and then moving towards the upside. But yeah, be careful. You would like to see higher prices from anywhere, guys, here. So you have to manage and risk your management here. Sorry, to manage your risk, and to have like risk management, okay? Because you might start to see higher prices from at any time, but you have to follow the structure exactly. A, B, and a C. Okay, very simple. But yeah, so that's it for today. If you have any questions or more requests, I would be glad, of course. Don't forget also to follow on X if you are interested in crypto. We have also crypto channel, and of course we have our Discord channel for stocks and crypto. Of course, we mostly update as well. If you have also special requests, questions, and answers, I can give it directly over there. Thank you for being here, guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your likes and comments, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.